Welcome to Chapter 2, Section 7, Solving Proportions. Chapter we will cover both Section 7 and Section 8. A ratio is a comparison of two quantities as a fraction. Proportion is an equation that states that two ratios are equal. For example, A is to B as C is to D. You may also write that A is to B as C is to D, or A to B as C to D. With A is to B as C is to D, then it's fair to say that A times D is equal to B times C. We can see this in the example. 2 times 6 is 12, and as you know, 3 times 4 is also 12. This is an unknown. 7 is to 8 as an unknown is to 12. We know 7 times 12 is 84. Using the information and knowing that the cross products are equal, these are called cross products, we know that 8 times x equals 84. And again, these are called cross products. Go ahead and solve the equation as you know how. And x equals 10 and 4/8, which equals 10 and 1/2. Here is a proportion that's a bit more algebraic. If you look, we have one variable already, and then we have an unknown here. Well, that unknown we're going to also label b, and we'll use our cross products. Here we have b times 4, which is 4b. And then we have the right side, which is 5 times the sum of b plus 3. So that's 5 times the sum of b plus 3. And of course, we don't know what b is, so we can't solve that. But we can use the distributive property. 5 times b is 5b. 5 times 3 is 15. And of course, you have the 4b on the right. Now go ahead and solve this. First, get all the b's on one side. So I'm going to remove it from the left. So on the left, I have just 15. And on the right, I have a 4b minus 5b, which is a negative 1b. This tells me that my b is a negative 15. Putting this back in here, I see that it means negative 15 over 5 is equal to negative 15 plus 3 over 4. Well, of course, negative 15 plus 3 is negative 12. So is that equal? Well, it'd be 3 on the left and negative 3 on the right. So yes, that would be equal. Portable media player has 2 gigabytes of storage and can hold about 500 songs. So we have a relationship. 2 gigabytes is to 500. A similar but larger media player has 80 gigabytes. The 80 gigabytes is also similar to the 2 gigabytes in that it's the same amount of data. So when the 2 gigabytes over here went on top, it means the 80 needs to go on top or in the numerator as well. But a media player is 80 gigabytes. How many songs? So now remember, our 500 was our songs here, and that went in the denominator. So how many songs are unknown is going to go in the denominator on the right. And then, of course, we use cross products. Divide by 2. You get 20,000 songs. Now, does that answer make sense? Well, if 2 goes into 500, or makes 500, 2 is to 500, and 80, well, think about it, that's about 40 times bigger. So 40 times 500, is that bigger? Yeah, it's about that much bigger. So our answer does make sense. You have to write all of this down, but I do want you to read through it, decide which property she is using. By the way, they're using different properties. One will be using a property similar to this, one similar to this. Solve them, and then here's the part I'll really be looking at. Will both methods work? Please explain why that is, or is not, the case. Welcome to the second half of this video, Chapter 2, Section 8, Proportions and Similar Figures. Similar figures. Similar figures have the same shape, but are not the same size. Their measurements are proportional to each other, so they are very useful in math. Some examples of this that you may have noticed are matchbox cars. Matchbox cars are typically proportional to the actual car they represent. Breyer horses. Breyer horses are often proportional to the horses they represent. So, can you think of any other item that is proportional to something larger than it or smaller than it? Next, we're going to talk about a symbol. This symbol right here means similar. So this tells us that triangle ABC, and they're labeled in order, is similar to DEF. So we know that angle A is similar to angle D. Angle B is similar to angle E. Angle C is similar to angle F. Look at the notation. Angle A is similar to angle D. Angle B is similar to angle E. And angle C is similar to angle F. They are placed in order, and the order really matters in this. In the previous slide, I told you that order matters, and it does, because we now know that AB is similar to DE, and we know that BC is similar to EF, and we also know that AC is similar to DF. We can use that to find unknown sides. The question is asking, what is DE? Well, we know that DE, right here in green, is unknown. But we do know a couple of other things. Let's write down what we do know. We know that AB is similar to DE. And we know that AB has a 10, even though we don't know what DE is. We also know that BC is similar to EF. And both those we know. We know that BC is 16 and EF is 12. So AB is to DE as BC is to EF. Using this information, we can use cross products. So 16x equals 10 times 12 is 120. Divide both sides by 16, and x equals, well, I'll let you finish it from there. Here's another example. This is one of those real life examples. The sun's rays strike the building and the girl at the same angle, forming two similar triangles, which are shown. How tall is the building? Well, again, if you take a look, we can look at our similar sides. We have a right angle right here, and we have a right angle here. That helps determine our similar sides, because we know the other side is the hypotenuse. So using that information, 3 feet is to 15 feet, as 5 feet is to x. Now, be careful when you're setting these up, because these are similar sides and these are similar sides. And this isn't the only possible way of setting up. There's other ones. But there must be a relationship between here. And again, we will use cross products. 5 times 15 equals 3x. And of course, when we divide by 3, we get 25 equals x. So the building is 25 feet tall. Notice I labeled. This in your notes. Scale drawing is a drawing that is similar to an actual object or place. For example, floor plans, blueprints, and maps are all examples of scale drawings. The scale drawing is the ratio of any length of the drawing to the actual length, and it will remain the same for all measurements on the drawing. So if you're drawing one, it must remain the same for all lengths. Here's where we check your understanding. For question 5, I want to know if you believe that angle A is equal to angle T. We're looking at these similar figures. If you believe the perimeters of the two triangles are equal, and looking at these figures, if you believe the ratios of the sides, BC is to UV, as AC is to TV. In questions 6 and 7, just underline the correct word. 8, 9, and 10, let's do whether you believe it's a true statement or a false statement. Bottom section, make sure you understand what a similar figure is, what a scale is, what a scale drawing is, and what a scale model is. And then go ahead and rate yourself as to how well you understand this material. See you in class tomorrow.